All right, this is just a test. Sound check, sound check. How loud do I have to talk? Sound check. Let's beat my microphone's way over here, so for right now, see if it can pick me up. So, can you hear me? Low voice whisper. Can you hear a whisper? Can you hear me talking softly? Can you hear me talking a little bit louder? Now, can you hear me yelling? All right, we are here, starting this new channel. I think it's one of 3 or something like that. Well, I've got a plan for this one. Personal finance. My personal finance. And to help you with yours. So, let's start off with a little introductory. Get that over with for a second. Kind of a long introductory, but not too long. Stay with me. We just got to get to it, because before I can teach you or about finance or really get moving on with life and other things like vlogging and stuff like that. Sorry, my camera's way up here. If I'm not looking at it, I apologize. Actually, here. A little hack until I get used to looking at the camera. There we go. All right. So personal finance. Anyways, that's what we're going to be doing with this channel. I needed a channel where I can just sit inside and teach, explain, I don't know. And finance is something I'm really good and bad at, horrible, bad at the same time, which doesn't make any sense, which means I'm pretty much just bad at them. But I'm good at being bad at finance. I'm good at being bad at spending. I'm good at being bad at managing debt instead of financial freedom. And that's what I want. So to get there, we have to get out of debt. And once we get out of debt, then we can worry about vlogging, fitness vlogs. I've got 100,000 ideas of social media, content I would love to create. I've got a fishing channel. I've got a camping channel. I've got this. I don't know. I've started several things. I've got a TikTok where I just kind of do random little stuff. But this is going to be finance. And maybe later, move on to more stuff once I get this going. Finance will always be part of it. Because finance, personal finance, it's not it's not something you just do or just hurry up and do once and then you don't got to worry about it for the rest of the time. I mean, unless you become a billionaire or something like that, and then maybe it's a little bit easier, but you still got to know how to manage your money even more when you're a billionaire. You got to pay a lot of other people. So, anyways, let's back up. My name's Phil. Phil Highfill. That's HIGHFILL. So, and Phil with 1 L. So, Phil Highfill. Hi, Phil. Hi, Phil. Anyways, I live in an RV. It's like a makeshift Frankenstein RV. A little backstory. My brother had a little camper. He was going to fix it up and live in it. While he was kind of working on that camper or something like that, someone was driving down the road with this camper. Pretty much said, hey, I was gonna just get rid of this, but if you want it, you're more than welcome to have it. So he took it. It's much bigger than the one he was working on. However, this camper had pretty much the whole roof, the whole top half would raise up and down. So you can travel down the road better, I guess. And that slide and the motors and stuff that make that slide go up and down, they just don't work. They didn't work. So instead of worrying about fixing those motors and spending too much money fixing those motors, he decided to just take the whole top slide off and went and bought a bunch of lumber and built the walls and the roof and the ceiling and basically made a little tiny home out of an old camper. So, and give me 2 seconds because I have to back out of this for just a second because my screensaver on my computer keeps coming on. All right, we're back. I got my little blanket. It's kind of cold tonight. All right, so where were we? All right, I live in an RV. Phil lives in an RV. I live with my dog, Pansy. She's right over here. You can kind of see her head a little bit right there, moving. And I have a cat named Pax, a little Siamese cat named Pax. I'm sure you'll see her jumping around. I know people think it's gross keeping food up on the counter, but I really don't cook and stuff that much in here. And I wipe stuff down every day. It's a small place, but it's the best place to put her food and stuff, so the dog doesn't get it. And yeah. So, anyways, dog, cat, living in an RV, and we're here. Y'all ready for personal finance? Make sure, real quick, y'all like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or whatever. Make sure to subscribe so you can watch this. We're all going to get out of debt together. I believe in you. I believe in me. Let's do this. It'll be great. Then I won't have to live in a little makeshift camper thingy-majigger tiny home. Okay, yeah, I'm going to try to keep stopping it. But let's get on. My brain's kind of everywhere right now. First video I've made in a long time, so got a little outline right here to go by, but I don't really, it's not really like a script, so. Anywho, alright, let's get into it. Let's just put it out there. I personally am in, we'll get to the actual detail and the actual numbers later. Probably the next video. Put it all together. Today we're just going to kind of give a little introductory to what we're going to be talking about. I am in $20,000+ of debt right now. And that's not good. Like, I've been in it. It's not like it just happened or I just bought a car or anything. No, this is just credit debt. Bad credit debt that I've struggled with for 10 to 15 years now. 4, 5, 6 credit cards, we'll hit that. And they're all high interest rate credit cards that I gotta get rid of. And I have no excuses. I mean, I can make excuses all day. I can say, well, I've been in between jobs. I needed one. Or had to fix the truck. I had to spend that money. Problem is, spending the money is not the problem. Using the card is not the problem. Not paying it off is the issue. You got to pay them off. Or you're just paying lots and lots of money, and you'll never be financially free. So, I have to get that down. I pay minimum payments. I'm great at that. Like, I have it scheduled. They all come out, and I sit back and let them come out, and I pay on clothes that I don't even have anymore, most likely. Not really, but hypothetically, I'm paying on stuff that I don't have or stuff that's broken. And that's why you don't really want to get credit cards. At least if you're not going to pay them off. Maybe some people are out there, their first one, they've just been great at it their whole time. Me, I thought I was. I did the same thing like everybody. Ooh, JCPenney's. That was my first credit card. JCPenney's. I got one back in like 2013, 2012, something like that. I wasn't making much money back then. I was working at a pizza place. Here, I gotta stop so this little thing will zoom in. But I was working at a pizza place. Pretty much, it was at a time where I took a step back. So I was making like $12 an hour working for movie theaters. I was the projectionist. Made about $12 an hour, and then all the projectors went digital. So used to, I had to put the film through the machine, go up and start every movie throughout the day, and that was my job. They paid me like $12, $13 an hour. There was more to it. You had to clean. You actually had to put the reels of movies together, splice them with tape and stuff like that, and make sure they all start on time and everything. Plus, you cleaned the theater, helped in concession, helped serve popcorn. You did a lot, but that was my job, projectionist. Well, around 2012, I went to work and walked in, and they said, "Phil," or I looked at the schedule. It was like after the weekend. Got there, looked at the schedule, and I had like 8 hours. I was getting like 40 to 45. I was getting overtime sometimes. I had like 8 hours on the schedule. So I walked up to the GM. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "Well, you know it's been coming." I was like, "What? Y'all haven't said nothing?" He was like, "You are the projectionist at $12 an hour, and we are on digital projectors now." Like, for a minute, we had 3 that were digital, and then we had 3 that were regular by this time. Well, he said, "Well, they just installed the other 3 digital, so we don't really need someone to start all the movies anymore. So we don't need a projectionist anymore. Managers can do it." So yeah, I had 8 hours. They said you could take a pay cut and go back down to like $8 an hour and work in the concession stand, or I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, "Well, I'm not taking $8 an hour. I'm not going back down. I've been doing this for 4, 5, 6 years, and no." So I said, "Well, I'm out of here." I was pissed. It was a yelling conversation. It wasn't easy like this. I was upset, stormed out, and yeah, that was it. No more movie theater after that. And that's all I really had done. That was pretty much, aside from a couple little retail jobs like Quick Trip and Target, that's just about all I did was movie theaters from the time I was 16. Maybe a restaurant or two. So went home, and I was jobless for like about 6 months. So while in that time, let's see. So I was jobless for about 6 months. That's not why I got a credit card at that time. But the story is, basically, I was making like $12 an hour. About 6 months later, I was like, okay, well, I got to get a job. You know, it took a while. Luckily, I had a girlfriend at the time that was making decent money, and I was living with my mom, so it's not something you want to do at 22 years old, or however old I was back then, 21, 22. But, hey, what can you do? That's where I ended up, back at home with mom, with the girlfriend, and I sat there trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I couldn't figure anything out. I was trying to do entrepreneurial stuff. I remember sitting there typing up a whole paper, like a lawn mowing company, because I had my mom's lawnmower and a weed eater, and I was like, I got to get out and make some money. So I sat there and typed up a whole lawnmower thing, and I was like, maybe, because back then, I mowed yards when I was younger, but back then, it was just like, what? They come mow, you pay like $60 or $65. It wasn't very much money to mow a yard back then, but $45, something like that. It wasn't very much for a little residential yard. $25 to $40 was the going rate. Now it's 60 to 100 probably. But I was like, well, maybe I can do something different to make sure I'm getting the money. So I was thinking all this stuff of like subscription plans for mowing. Like, you pay me $200 a month and I'll make sure your lawn stays great. Landscaped, everything. But anyways, I made up a bunch of flyers. I went around, I had 200 flyers. Went around my mom's whole neighborhood. Put them on every door. Hung them on every door. I got 0 calls. 0. I don't know if the flyer was weird or my idea of business was just weird. People didn't get it at the time. Because now, that stuff happens. It's kind of weird. But this was 15 years ago-ish. Now things are a little different. But anyways, after that, sit around. Maybe it wasn't 6 months, but anyways, I needed a job. That's it. I just needed a job. So I got on, started putting on Facebook, hey, I need a job. I'm looking in the food industry. Because when I was young, I wanted to be a chef. I wanted to get in culinary. Flew out to South Carolina. Did dishes at a restaurant, gastropub. A little higher scale restaurant with like white linen tablecloths and stuff. Came back home because I was homesick. Where the hell was I going with that story? I don't know. But anyways. Came back home. So I had a little restaurant experience. My dad actually opened up a restaurant for about 9 months on the lake. And as soon as the winter got there, people don't go out as much on the lake. And it all dried up. The money dried up. And just a bad business altogether. So anyways, it was fun. Learned a lot. Worked there with them for about 8 or 9 months. But anyways, went back to the movie theater after that. It's just before I left, so I'm going to confuse y'all, so I need to shut up. So anyways, I had experience in the restaurant industry. Fast forward. Pretty much had to quit the movie theater. Fast forward 6 months of being jobless. Now I need to find a job. Obviously, I want to go try food because that's what I've been wanting to do since I was little, watching Food Network. So I got on there, hey, anybody in food? Hey, anybody know where I can get a job in food? Finally, my buddy that used to work at the movie theater had a new gig as a manager at a pizza place called Pie 5 Pizza. So I applied, obviously, went and did the interview, got the job. Like $8 an hour. Not a whole lot. So I'm working there, just making pizzas. By this time, I'm probably 23-ish, 22, 23, somewhere around there. Just making pizzas, $8 an hour. It's not great. But luckily, I've got a girlfriend to help. You know what I mean? So, I was doing some little side jobs too. But anyways, got that job. $8 an hour. And yeah, that's where everything started. So I got that job. Worked there for a while. Dang. Sorry, I'm like wired. I drink a lot of coffee. So I'm trying to figure out where I was going with everything on these stories right this second. And then we'll get back into it. So making $8 an hour. Then I get an apartment. She was making money. We get an apartment. And then, you know, for whatever reason, I decided I needed a JCPenney's credit card. And that's where everything went wrong. If I can go back and change that, I would. So I got the JCPenney's credit card. I don't know, 28% interest or something. It might be over 30. I couldn't tell you right now. Random clothes. I remember buying a watch, like $300 watch or $400 watch or something like that. Paid that off. Anyways, we would just go in and spin, endorphin spin. Sometimes it was things we needed, like work clothes. I mean, it wasn't ever just crazy. But then some days I would go. She worked at the mall, so I would walk around the mall a lot. When you're walking around the mall watching everybody buy stuff, you're like, hey, I got to buy some stuff. So I'd go into JCPenney's where I knew I had my $2,000 credit limit for whatever reason. It was $500 when it started, but after, it didn't take long for them to just keep raising it because I'd pay it off at the beginning. And then just got up there. And it just got too much to pay off. Well, because I didn't want to. So that was my first credit card, was JCPenney's. Horrible. I finally, later on, I paid that one off. I did get it paid off because I was like, there's nothing there. Luckily, I quit using it. I didn't really like JCPenney's clothes. I quit using it. Buckled down somehow, tax return or something. I was able to pay it all off. Anyways, not the big of a deal. But then I was like, hey, that's not so bad. I'll go get me a Walmart credit card. Okay. And however I did it, I maxed out that Walmart credit card. Then I got a Cabela's credit card. Bass Pro, whatever. Maxed that one out. I got a Robinhood credit card. Maxed that one out. Yay. So I got 3 credit cards maxed out right now. So that's where I'm getting at. No reason really. Like, sometimes I think, I don't know, it wasn't ever like, oh, I want to buy a PlayStation, I need a credit card. No, I get things in my head, like, the first one was like, oh, you build your credit. Get the JCPenney's card, help you build your credit. And I'm sure it does if you pay them off on time and everything, but if you're not careful, then you screw yourself up because you're paying all credit cards and you don't have any money anyways. So credit don't matter if you don't have any money. So yeah, so that's where we're at. All right, now I'm going to try to get on one topic here and quit bouncing back and forth. So I'm making $8 an hour. I got that credit card. Move way forward. So at $8 an hour, I'm probably only making like, I don't know. I haven't done the math. I'll do the math another time. But like 12, we'll probably do a timeline of all my jobs and stuff one day. But like $12, $13, maybe $15,000 a year, something like that. It wasn't much. Maybe 20-something thousand a year. Let's see, I would make about $1,200 a month. So about 20-something thousand a year or something like that. 24 grand a year. Back then, that was a little easier. You can kind of live on that with help. Apartment at the time was only like $550 a month, so not that bad. And the car payment I had was like $300 a month. So things were cheaper. Food was cheaper. Everything was cheaper. Life was cheaper. And then I knew I couldn't, I stuck at that job, even moving up to shift leader. Went to some other jobs. We'll get into my jobs another day. I might do a run around where I actually drive around and show everybody my jobs or something. But fast forward to now. We'll just go there. I'll skip. Go from $8 an hour and 1 credit card at the time that I was able to pay off. Move all the way forward. Actually, I didn't pay it off then, but I paid it off several years later. But anyways, move forward. Now I pay off the JCPenney's. Now I have 4, let's see, Cabela's. Right now, I have Cabela's. Right now, I have Cabela's credit card, or Bass Pro, whichever one you want to call it now. Walmart, and Robinhood credit card. I have a Best Buy credit card, and I have a Lowe's credit card. So I got 5 credit cards. Man, I didn't even know I had. I know I have them, but you don't think about it until you're actually filming it, and that's why I'm starting this channel, because when I'm just sitting around here, I just push it off. Don't worry about it. But now I'm going to be talking to y'all about it. It's actually going to be in my head constantly, and maybe I'll start paying it off more instead of being dumb. You see? You dig? So yeah, got all these credit cards. I'm drowning in debt now. 20 something dollars, or 20 something $1,000. And I'm tired of paying it. Like, this is like $600 a month just in minimum payments. It's like a whole car payment. Like, it's ridiculous. And it's just minimum payments. That doesn't count the interest, the other $600 a month of interest that keeps getting added to these. So we gotta add, like, this isn't $600 a month. This is $1,200 a month that I'm getting screwed out of. So that's that. So I can save $1,200 a month if I get rid of all these credit cards, and that's a lot. That's like a whole $1,200 a month I can get out of the Frankenstein camper. Which isn't bad. I mean, look behind me. I got my candles lit. It smells good in here. I got a little dog over here. I got a bed. Everything. I got everything I need. I don't mind living in an RV, but I want a better one than this one. If I do ever want to keep living in RVs or whatever I want to do in the future, but can't really worry about that right now because I ain't got money to spend on nothing. So that's where I'm at. Went around a whole thing just to tell you I'm in $20-something thousand of debt. Alright. Luckily, I don't have kids or a wife or a girlfriend or anything right now, so that's one area that I don't spend any money on. Probably another reason that got in this mess, because I had no... Won't say I don't have any responsibilities, but I didn't really have any financial responsibilities. If I don't want to go grocery shopping, I don't have to. I can go eat out. Mistake number one, eating out too much. But if I want to get down to $5 a bit my bank account, I can, because I don't have anybody else depending on me other than a dog and a cat that need a little bit of food every now and then. I don't get down to $5 ever. That's where, when I say I'm good at being bad when spending money, is because I'm good. I'll keep $1,000 in the bank, but I'm not paying anything off. See, I'm getting kind of worked up. All right, water. So, we have to get rid of debt. You with me? Are you in my position? Are you worse than my position? Hell, I've been watching some of these other channels, and people are in hundreds and thousands of dollars of debt. My $20,000 should be easy to get rid of if I focus. So, here's one good thing, if I didn't say it already. My truck is paid off. So I do have a Ford F-150. I'll post a picture right here. Ford F-150. That's paid off. It's been paid off for about 2 years. And of course, I said whenever it was paid off, I was like, okay, once I pay this off, I'm just going to save the $550 a month that I was spending on it. That way, in 5 years, I could just buy, or 5 to 6 years, I could buy a truck with cash. I've never put $500 away at all, so I can't do that. Which is fine, because you get into it and you're like, hey, I don't have this bill. Didn't help that economy kind of rose in this time too, because things just got more expensive. Phone bills got more expensive. I think that $500 gap that I was spending on that truck, other things have taken that money. That's part of that money. Does that make sense? Instead of spending $500 on that truck, I'm spending more on food. I'm spending more on gas. I'm spending more on subscriptions that I need, or phone. Phone's one of the big ones. long time ago, I could spend $60 on a phone at Metro. Now, I don't get Metro out here where I live. I live farther away out of the city. So I couldn't have Metro PCS anymore. So I had to go to Verizon. And I spend way too much. It's like because when I went, I got the Pixel phone. You know what I mean? So I'm spending $80 on the phone a month. I'm spending basically $200 a month on internet and phone. Where used to I spent like $120 before I got out here. So that's $80 I'm spending more than I should. So basically, that car payment that I would love to put away has been going into other stuff. And more credit cards that I've gotten over time too. So, yeah. Anyways, I should have been putting $500 away so I can get another truck one day, but I did not do that. Truck's paid off though, so there's one expense I do not have. This RV. So basically, where I live, my grandmother lives right here, my uncle lives next to her, and my dad lives across the street. So I live pretty much in their front yards. They don't charge me anything. At this moment, I don't get charged anything. Grandma don't charge me. I've tried to pay her. She don't charge me. So it is what it is. All I can do with that good gracious, you can call it privilege, whatever the hell you want to call it. I really don't care. It's not privilege. My parents, family worked their asses off growing up, and if they want to allow me or my cousin or my brother or whoever to live for free, well, hey, that is what I get because our family wanted us to not struggle in times we should probably be struggling harder. You know what I mean? I used to feel guilt. And if you ask them, I've never asked for help at all. Very rarely have I ever asked for help in the last 15, 20 years or so. So this is the first year that I've never really had to pay rent or mortgage or utilities or anything like that. So at this moment, I do not have utilities. I do not have a truck bill, and I do not have a car payment. So without having those three things, you would think I would be rocking and rolling and loaded and rich, but not when you have a bunch of credit cards and things are just expensive. So that's that. Frankenstein Camper is free. Before living here, I moved out here last June, so I've been out here about 9 months. Before living here, I rented a place. I think it was like $600 a month, $500 a month. I rented a place and I lived there for 10 years. So before that, I was in an apartment for 3 or 4 years, and then I went out there and I lived in this mobile home for 10 years. It was in the country. Pretty much had a couple acres to myself. 10 years, $500 a month. But it wasn't the best. AC didn't work very good. You just have a lot of problems. I knew it for a long time. This is when I was working in the restaurant industry. And then last year, I was just like, I'm done. I was done. I didn't want to work in the restaurant industry anymore. I spent 15. After I got that first job at the pizza place, I ended up working my way up to like GM of restaurants and stuff. And my last job, I was making like $55,000 a year working at a Mexican food establishment as a GM or assistant GM. But I was burnt out. 14 hours a day in the restaurant industry. Not always 14, but by the time you get there, drive, you don't get lunch break. You don't, it's basically 12 to 14 hours a day. You don't got a consistent schedule. Some days you're closing till midnight, 11 o'clock midnight. Some days You can't really ever take off or call in or go take off for a doctor's appointment. You got to plan that stuff for your days off. There's no time off. You get like a week and a half of vacation, and that's about all you get. 2 of those. So I got about 18 days of vacation a year. Including the weekends or whatever you want to call it. But anyways, I left the restaurant industry. I got lucky. My brother was working out here for a city. And he called me, I was out here for Mother's Day last year, and he mentioned a couple people left his job. So I was like, bet. And I was just sitting there thinking, because I had been getting burnt out, really burnt out of the restaurant industry. It's a high-paced environment with very low reward. Very low reward. No retirement, no PTO, no time off. You get a decent salary with no degrees or anything. But that only holds for so long. Started looking around. I was like, I don't want to do this forever. Not for somebody else. If I like the restaurant. If I had my own or something like that, I think I can get into it. But I don't know. I learned a lot about the restaurant industry, and it's kind of a waste of money. Unless you get good enough and expand a little, and you can make a lot of money off of it. Or you just have a really kicking spot. But I didn't want to do the restaurant industry anymore. I needed to go find something else. At 37 years old, now I'm 38. But 37 years old, I need something else. I need to see. I still have plenty of time to do another career or two. So my brother said, hey, he public works for the city. He said, yeah, come on, apply. So next week I applied, got the job. A month later, started working out here as public works, maintenance, and water and sewer, and roads. Went from salary, now I'm hourly. One of the things that scared me, and I was salary for so long, like 10 years or so, 15 years. I was salary for so long that I was scared to go to hourly. I knew what every paycheck was going to be. If I was sick for 5 days and was able to get off, or there was ice on the road, or we couldn't work, I knew I would still get paid. So I never wanted to go hourly, but I don't know. I talked to my brother. He was like, yeah, it's so much. It's $20 an hour. I was like, okay, cool. I did the math. I was like, I think I can afford it. He was like, there's overtime, though, so it'll probably make up for what you don't think you're going to get. I was like, okay. So anyways, I got the job. A month later, I moved out here. For the first month, I stayed in my dad's house, and then I moved into the camper. I've been here for 9 months. This is not in my mind right now, not a permanent situation. I don't really know. I kind of have an idea what I want to do, but it could change too. With what we're about to start doing, anything's going to be possible soon. But basically, this is temporary. I'm not going to live for free forever. I'm not going to mooch. That's not my goal here. It's not what I'm about. But I'm going to use the good graces of my family, and I'm going to get out of debt. Completely. And we're going to do it fast. As fast as possible. Because when I looked at my credit card statement, just one of them today, I can't remember which one it was. If I just paid the minimum payments on one of them, it'd be 27 years before that thing's paid off. And that's without touching them. And I touch them. Or I use them. So that 27 years turns to 28 years every time I use one. 29 years, 30. Maybe 60 years old before I'm out of credit card debt. I don't want to do that. We've got 2 years before I'm 40. I want to be out of debt before I'm 40 years old, if not earlier. So right now I did it earlier at 20. I got a raise right after I got out here, so I make $21.30 an hour, I believe. Which, when I did the math earlier, and we're gonna do numbers in the next couple days or whatever, or videos. Right now, let's see, I got it right here, $21.30 an hour. That gives me a gross income. That's just at 40 hours, $44,000 a year. My net income is about $35,200 a year. This is rough estimates. We're gonna do a whole presentation of all my numbers on the next video. I just didn't put that in. We might do it tomorrow. I don't know. I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos. Let's see. So yeah, I work public works in the sewer. It's a dirty job, hard job. I'm outside. It's different to me. Yeah, it's dirty and everything, and I don't really care for some of it, but man, it's like a complete opposite of the restaurant industry. I'm not stuck in a building getting yelled at all day long. I'm out just digging holes and putting pipes together and fixing leaks and putting asphalt and potholes and things like that. So driving backhoes and tractors around. I stay busy and I'm outside. I don't feel trapped anymore. So the move was good mentally. I also get off at 3:30 every day, 7 to 3:30. Like, it's just Monday through Friday. I get weekends off. I never had weekends off in the restaurant industry. So everything here is better. My mental's better. I get daylight every day. I get weekends. My mental clarity is better. I miss the restaurant a little bit. I miss the people, but at the same time, no. I'm better off mentally. Now I got to get finances in order, and then I can start balling after that. All right, where we at? Eventually, I'll get better at talking, and I won't have to stare at my little online notes. All right, so I make 35 grand net, and we'll just go by net. I think there's no purpose in going by what I make. That's a lot, though. I did it today, and I pay 8 grand in taxes at 20%. If it's 20%, I don't really know how much. I need to really study that. That's one of the things about finances I got to learn. Like, I don't know finance. I didn't go to college. I didn't spend, I probably had an economics class or two in high school, but I didn't pay attention to none of that. Now, that $35,000 is without overtime. With overtime, I think I'm probably going to make net about $45,000 a year this year. We'll see. I only worked for 9 months, so I don't really know yet. But we'll see. I could easily make 45 to 50 grand a year, but I also get retirement. I get very good insurance, like free glasses, free this, free copays, things like that. So things make up for the little bit of money that I thought I was going to be losing. However, when I hit the average overtime, I make what I made at the restaurant on salary, roughly. So yeah. So I make $35,200 a year, and I have $20,000 in debt. That's not good. But it's just me. I pretty much live for free. All I'm doing is paying minimum payments on credit cards and just a few other things, phone bills, insurance, stuff like that. So there's no reason I shouldn't be able to, within a year, maybe a year and a half. I think I'll say a year and a half. I'm going to pay this off in a year and a half. You know what? Let's try 1 year. Starting right now. If I don't make it, I don't make it. But if we can hit it maybe in 1 year. So it is, what is today? 4/19? It's April 19th. April 19th of 2027. I'm going to do everything in my power this next 12 months to get out of debt. It's not a lot I can cut. Well, no, I'm not going to lie. I'm cutbacks. I can cut back on some spending. Get rid of a couple of bills that I don't need. Obviously, ixnay the credit cards is the main goal here. That's my debt. That's what I pay. I don't have rent. I don't have nothing else. That is my money that I need. So, this job is my only cash flow at the moment. I need to figure out more cash flows. So yeah, good news is my retirement plan will be like matched if I stick around for 5 years. But it's kind of late at 38. It's not too late, but it's later than if I would have went in and started working for the city at 18. So I can still get a decent retirement in 25, 30 years if I want to climb through sewers at 50 and 60, but don't know if I want to do that. So basically, I live out here. I work with my brother. The job is only, like, I live in the city I work in, so it's like 6 miles away. I can't beat anything about being here. Like, it was a good move, good choice. Cleared up a lot of problems there, and now we're here, and I said I can show y'all how to do it, but not many people are going to be able to just do what I am doing. If you can, hey, go live with your parents. Go live with someone. If that's what you can do, and you can get rid of just feeling like you got to be independent, take it. Take the help while you have it, because you won't always have it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty. If anybody out there talking crap about someone being privileged or something like that, it's just because they're jealous that they can't. They can't do that. Not that everybody wants it or needs it or anything like that, but don't let anybody get you down. If you need to go live with someone to get rid of your debt, you do that, because that's just financially smartness, genius, wisdom, financial wisdom. There we go. So, see, I'd be all over the place. That's why I got to have this little outline. I really just need a whole script just to read, but I'm not going to do that. So, yeah, retirement we matched. That's good. Started late. One thing about me is not only that, I don't know how to save money. I've never been good at saving money. I can keep it in my bank, but I don't have a savings account. I mean, I have savings accounts that are attached to some of the banks I have, but I don't have any money in them. So we're going to get into the actual money later, but I don't have a savings. I don't have an emergency fund. About once every 6 months, I go through and kind of make a little budget just to see where I'm at, make sure I'm not spending more than I'm making or have more bills than the money I'm actually making, but I've never really been there. It's probably the most debt I've ever had. So yeah, just like anybody, I'm a few paychecks away from being homeless. Luckily, I will never be homeless because I have a good family that worked really hard. So I need to work really hard to make sure by using that help that basically I need to get out of this on my own. If you don't count me living here, I guess on my own. not 100% independent, I guess, but you know what I mean. We got to get out of debt. Let's see. So no emergency plan. That's going to be one thing I got to get. We got to get out of debt before I can really even worry about an emergency plan at this moment. My credit card score is about a 630, I think. My credit score. It's a little bit different. It's like 630 on TransUnion, and then on Credit Karma, it's like 640 or something like that. But it's not horrible. It's not downright bad. Like I have any repos or bad rental stuff. I paid all my bills. Like everything's up to date at the moment. I just had like I said, I have 5 credit cards and 3 of them are maxed out. I do have a motorcycle. That's $125 a month. So yeah. Credit card limits fair, but it could be better. I think once it's I can get it to 700 easy once I get rid of the debt. I pay the payments. I'm not going to say now. I have missed payments before. Back 2 or 3 years ago, I was on trying to log in, do my payments, because I was in, I don't know, weird mindset. I thought that it was better that I controlled it. I thought I'd gone on manually and paid all my bills. That was a bad plan, because there were those mornings where I would get paid, I'd have money in the bank, it wasn't because I was broke, but I'd say, okay, well, I'm going to pay it when I get to work. And as soon as I get to work, of course, problem happens, right? So instead of paying it, I go run around the restaurant, and the next thing you know, I'm going home at the end of the night, and I get home, I'm like, oh, I didn't pay the credit card. So number one, there's a $40 late fee added to that credit card for not paying it within the 4-hour period or whatever. So biggest way that I had to fix that late problem, put every bill I have on automatic payments right now. First, what I want you to do is hit that little bell notification button, hit the subscribe button, like buttons, whatever buttons are on YouTube, hit them, touch them, so you can see me, follow along. I will get better at staying on topic, I promise you. I drink a lot of coffee, so my mind is wired right now. So yeah. Like, subscribe, whatever. But, alright, now that you like and subscribe, here's what I need you to do. Pause this video, or don't pause it. But you need to, right now, while you're watching my video, log in and put all your stuff on automatic payments if you haven't already. Do it. I don't care. Don't be like me. Don't be like, well, I want to manage my money because what if I get to that day? This is the dumbest thing that I could ever done. But I promise you I did it. What if I get to the bill date and don't have the money? I can't have them overdrafting my bank account. What kind of logic is that? That's just dumb logic. That is just selfish, stupid logic that got me to where I am. I wanted to keep all my money. That way, if they wanted to take it, because it was their money, they couldn't take it unless I said it. You know what I mean? Like, it was smart. I'm not going to say it never helped me, but I understand why I did it, but it was just bad. I should have put everything on automatic payments. I should have never got credit cards, but I should have put it on all automatic payments. So I did that not long ago, probably only like 2 years ago. I finally put everything on automatic payments, and that helped that automatically raised my credit because everything was getting paid on time. And most of the time it did anyways, but at least once a month I probably missed something at that time. Maybe not once a month, but a couple times a year, if you do something like that. Enough to where it would drop a few points every time I missed one. But I don't have to worry about that. That's not one thing. Late payments is not my problem. All my minimum payments come out automatically for the most part. I'm good to go there. I'm talking about it now. I'm looking at dates, hoping things are getting paid. But so that's my credit score. 633 at the moment, I believe. We just gotta get that up, and paying these off. So paying these credit cards off is going to be the way to get that up. But yeah, so that's why I started this channel, because little things like that, little things that it's kind of funny. Like, even though I knew I should do that, I didn't sign up that way until I started reading a book I have around here. I'll go over it. It's that book, I'll Help You to Get Rich, or something like that. I'll go through it eventually. But anyway, that's the first thing he said is you need to put everything on automatic payments. And don't just pay the minimum. You got to pay that principal too. So that's what I did. That's where I'm at. But yeah. So. Anyways, let's see. We're at like 48 minutes. I'm going to log into my bank account and just go through the last month. We're going to read off the last month very, very, very fast. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to read off some of the stores. And I'm not going to get into the money part of it yet. We're going to do that on the next video. Okay, so let's see here. Let me log in. Eventually I want to get good where I'm not having to edit too much, but I'll probably have to edit a little bit and cut out some of these quiet parts like this when I'm searching for stuff, unless I can learn how to keep talking when I'm looking down at the keyboard. I'm going to log into my bank, and I'm just going to give a very good idea at how bad my spending is. And the next time, we're going to hit the actual money. The money numbers. This is kind of just an introductory. That is not what I was looking for. There it is. All right, we're logging in. Oh, if y'all have never watched I live in Texas, but if y'all have never seen the Cosmic Baseball, Chili Peppers Cosmic Baseball with the emojis or whatever, go watch it. It's a new little kind of banana ball thing. It's pretty sweet. Go check it out. Go check it out. We went the other day. It was awesome. Took the nephews. Awesome time. Cosmic, black lights, everything's black. Black light out. Good music from the 90s and 2000s, early 2000s and stuff like that. Good pop and rap music to dance to. Fun time. Go check it out. Go have a blast. It's in Frisco, Texas. I think they travel. So. I'm not going to get into finance or numbers, but look, all right. So, just to give you an idea real quick, I'm going to tell you right now, most of my money goes to food. It's pretty much where all my money goes. Which isn't bad. I mean, food, until the last month, booze. I drink a lot, or used to drink a lot, and that killed my pocketbook. I haven't bought one bottle in the last month. So, woohoo! I'm 1 month soberish. I've had a few beers, but 1 month sober from liquor. That's a good thing. If anybody knows Phil, that's a good thing. That's quite a good feat. Because I don't social drink anymore. There for a long time, I was drinking alone. It was not to kill demons. It was just because I like to be drunk. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not angry. I don't go beat people up. I'm not a total dick when I'm drunk. I'm just kind of a goofy guy that like to be drunk. But no matter what the reason is or how I act on it, I don't need to drink anymore. So that's that. I need to worry about this body. All right. So we are going to go to, let's see, 'cause we're only halfway through the month. So we're going to go back to last month, I think. What was last month? April. I want to give you an idea of a full month. April. No, March. March is what we want. All right, let's go. So when I'm doing this video, I'm just be talking by calendar year. I'm gonna be speaking quarters and things like that, but it's gonna be calendar year, not like fiscal year or anything like that. It'll be calendar year. So, all right. So real fast. Like I'm not even gonna mention dates. I'm just gonna real fast read off where things went to. Let's see. No, I will read prices. We're going to do this one really fast, and then we will really break everything down. We're going to go 3 months back tomorrow, plus kind of make a budget so I don't do this anymore. Budget. We need meal prep. We need to do a lot of things to get things down, and that's going to be this video. It's going to be these videos are going to be great because I've got plans, and that's why my head's so bouncy because there's so much in my head I want to do that I'm trying to talk about it all. All right, so March 2nd. Is when my spending started. So this range is March 2nd, I guess, to March 31st, I'm sure. It was probably my last spending. All right. Come on. All right, March 2nd. Shell, $6. That's probably a Coke or something. Shell, $7. Probably. Oh, no. Shell, that's here. In the morning, and this is one thing I got to get. In the morning, Shell. There's a Shell gas station that sells burritos and coffee, and every morning I go spend money there. We all do. All the guys at work, we all drive to the Shell and spend money. But $6, $7, $8, $9 every day. That's a little add up, a few $100s a month right there. So Shell, that's 2. One Stop. So One Stop is another gas station where I eat lunch. $20. So I'm eating lunch for $20. Verizon, $196. My phone, that's phone and internet. Runaway, so I get paid. My paycheck that month was $1,473. That was made not much over that. That seems like it was decent overtime, but it was in one of those times where they don't pay the full amount of overtime. So I was probably only making $20 an hour on overtime. So, grocery store on groceries, $224. All right. I don't know what I bought. That's a lot. Well, I spent $224 on. I don't even know. Let's see. One Stop, $18. That's lunch. Capital One credit card, $250 payment, minimum payment. Right, it's not minimum. I actually have a couple of my credit cards set above, a little bit above minimum. That used to be the minimum. Now it's that credit card's down a little bit. But Shell breakfast, $6. Raceway, $3. I don't know what $3 would have been. Looks like a drink, probably a water, probably a Fiji water because I like Fiji water. But $3.29 for a water bottle, that's nuts. I don't have that kind of money. Dollar General, $33. I should never walk into Dollar General. I just like the gas station. It's convenient. But that's killer. It's probably like 5 things for $30. Taco Bell lunch, $10. One Stop, Lunch, $16. Smoke Plus, nicotine. Or not nicotine, but Smoke Plus, $40. Shell, 3 shells at $5. Chicken Express, $14. That's lunch. Shell, $5. One Stop. Shell. 5 Boys Restaurant, $20. Lunch. Shell, 5, 11. Shell. Romino's, Mexican Taqueria, $15. One Stop, $16. Shell. Best Buy credit card, $29. Very minimum payment. I shouldn't say that. I'll have to bleep that out. But payroll, $1,600. So that was a good one. So $1,639 paycheck is the one I like. Like, that's 12 hours of overtime gives me roughly that. So if I can get 10 to 12 hours in overtime, if I get 12 hours in overtime, it's usually $1,600. And that's exactly what I was making at the restaurant. Brookshire's, $102.34. Shell, $7. We're only on the 17th. That's only half the month. How about move? Let me go forward. All right. Oh, went the wrong way. All right. So we're at the 17th. Now the 18th. Shell. One Stop. Lunch and breakfast right there. Wise Liquors, $22.91. That was my last. Okay, so let's see. So yeah, about a month. Yeah, that was the last time I bought a bottle. Yeah, I didn't like it. Like, now when I drink, I get like instant heartburn. So I just don't like to drink right this second. State Farm, $33. That's for the motorcycle insurance. Shell, $50. That was probably gas. Shell, $8.64. Breakfast. One Stop lunch, $15. Health First, $209. So that's not a bad one. The Health First, that's a gym. I'm gonna start trying to do on almost every bill. $209.94 buys me 6 months at the gym. So I paid up front. Next time I try to do $400 to pay for the whole year, it saves me like $5 a month or something like that, which ends up being $50 or $60, something. $60. We'll talk about those strategies, like paying for the whole contract instead of paying monthly, and you'll save money that way. State Farm, $147. That's going to be, so I had the first State Farm, $33. $147 for my truck insurance. So all together, that is $147 plus $33, $170, $180 for vehicle insurance. And I've been with State Farm for a long, long time, over 10 years, so it's probably about time I start searching for something different. Shell, breakfast, $8. One Stop, lunch. Shell, $8. Shell, $8. One Stop, lunch. Amazon, $16. I think the 16 might be, I don't remember if that's something I bought, or I don't think it's something I bought. I think the 16 was is just the payment for Prime. Capital One credit card. So I got 2 Capital One credit cards. One's Walmart, one's Cabela's. They both are $250. $250 comes out once a month. So $500 a month on those 2. Freedom Road, that's my bike, $125. Robinhood credit card, $175 for minimum payment. So 175, 250, so 5, 675, 29. So 675 plus 30. We're at almost $800 in minimum credit card payments. That's freaking nuts. $800 a month, and I wonder where my money's going sometimes. So there's Freedom Road. Did I already read that one? I think so. Yep. Brookshire, $17. I don't know what that would have been, honestly. I went in there, but it's probably just like going and getting toiletries or something like that. Shell, $3. Shell, $9. One Stop, $14. Shell, $33. Shell, $5. Shell, $6.90. That's just breakfast. All these shells, that's just going in and getting coffee and breakfast in the morning. 33 is probably gas, but or maybe a day where I went and got a bunch of snacks or something. I can't really remember. I don't really know. It does say gas, so I guess it knew that I would hit the gas pump somehow. Dollar General, $76.47. That's ridiculous, because if anybody knows Dollar General, there's probably at least a 20% difference in there, and 10 to 20% difference in there, and going to Walmart, like at least probably 30%. So I could have probably walked out, if I went to Walmart, I could have probably walked out with $50 instead of $76 that day. I should never ever ever go to Dollar General. You're spending way too much money. It's not. They call it a dollar store to get you to go in there, but it's not. It's bad. Gas stations and dollar stores, you should never go in and buy anything. It's convenience, and that's what they get you on. Shell on the 30th. Shell on the 30th. So I went to Shell twice for $9. That one's probably a water when I see $2.37. $7 on a freaking breakfast burrito or a sausage biscuit. March 30th, One Stop, $17. March 31st, I got paid again. Alright. So you get it? Do we see any? Okay. Alright. That's messed up. I'm seeing this kind of myself. Like, I knew it, and I talk about it a lot. But anyways, I didn't add it up. We're gonna add these up over time. Tomorrow that's what we're gonna do tomorrow when I get on here. Is I'm gonna go through first quarter, so January through March. And I'm gonna add up everything and put it in like a little pie chart or something, or some kind of chart or something, and kind of show you the spending. Show myself the spending is what I'm really doing. Like I keep saying you, but this is a lot for me too, mainly because I gotta get out of debt. And as you can see, where all my money goes, like, but nothing. That was all food. That's all breakfast and food and gas. Like only one bottle of alcohol too, and credit cards and stuff. Like that's ridiculous. I just calculated $800 in credit card payments and probably another $400, $500 in eating out for lunch and breakfast. That doesn't even include the dinner. Oh man, I can't believe there was no dinner on there. That's crazy. Oh, there's like Chicken Express and stuff like that, but man. Oh no, last month I did eat at home quite a bit, I think. I don't really know. No, I didn't eat much after work. So I pretty much ate lunch, a big lunch, and then I would come home and not eat much dinner. I might eat ramen or something, but that's that. So that was real fast. Let's see if I got anything else to talk about. Oh crap. I didn't see it on there because some bills come out of some of the credit cards, unfortunately, and something I got to work around. But let's see. So now, just a quick rundown, kind of like that. My main payments, my bills are credit cards, eating out, gas, pets, so like pet food. Some of those grocery store stuff's getting pet food, even bones and stuff like that, because the dog does need something to chew on for the teeth. Flea collars, things like that. Pets, that's a budget category for sure. The gym, luckily the gym's not a monthly fee because I've been trying to pay that up front every time. And that will be a little spot where I save money to pay that up front as soon as it ends in June. Or August, whenever it's up. Basically 6 months from now. Insurance, phone and internet, car. I have car payment, but I don't have a car. All I got is a motorcycle payment at $125 a month. Rent, mortgage, don't have that right now. Amazon Prime, Robinhood. I do pay $5 a month for Robinhood Gold, and if I didn't say it already, I have Robinhood, the credit card, but I also play with the stocks a little bit. Not a lot, but I've got quite a bit of Dogecoin. We'll go through all that another time, but I play around with some stock market stuff. I don't really make anything or have any crazy investments. I've got probably $800 in Robinhood right now. Should be probably $1,200 or so, but I've blown some gambling investments or stock picks or whatever. I play around sometimes with the fast moving ones, and I've gone up $100 and something doing it, and I've gone down a couple $100 doing it. So Robinhood, that's my investment thing right now. I've had it for about since 2020, and I've just been playing around with it to use it. I don't put a lot of money in it like I should because I have credit. So I can't really invest right now too much because I've got debt. I need to get the debt out of the way. Amazon Prime, Robinhood, and I do pay $5 a month to have the gold too. MLB TV, because I'm a Seattle Mariners fan, so I have to pay for MLB TV so I can watch the away games or the home games, so I can watch all the games at a market. Google Storage, like $2 a month. I'm probably forgetting a few things or not seeing them, but we're going to really break into it. But I can already tell you that food budget's got to go down. I got to start eating at home and taking my lunch. That's going to be the biggest one. Meal prepping type stuff. But I did get the membership. We are going back to the gym. When I was first thinking about channels to start, I want to do a fitness channel. Or kind of combine fitness and finance or something like that. And just lifestyle vlogging type thing occasionally. Health type thing. Because what is this finance stuff if you're not alive and you're not healthy? This is like, what am I trying to say? Like, this is what everything's for. Not this. Not the car. Not the house. Maybe a little bit the pets. But me, if I'm not healthy and I'm not living, and I can't live a better life in 2 years when I get out of credit card debt, well, there's no point. So I gotta start going back to the gym, stop drinking heavily. Might still have a beer with Dad occasionally, but stop drinking for the most part. And we're working out, and we're starting YouTube. We're going to create a strict budget. We'll go through that later. But yeah, we're going to wrap this up. I know it was a little all over the place, but it is just an intro. It may or may not get a whole lot of views anyways. It's my little backdrop. This is a little webcam. A little cheap $80 webcam or something like that I've had for a little while. Elgato or something. So it's going to have some focusing issues. I don't have a $2,000 vlogging camera right this second. I don't need it though. Not yet. But yeah, thanks for watching. This is going to be the first and hardest video that I make. Lots of transparency in this. If I can tell you, my brother and maybe my sister are the only two that know how much debt I'm in or what my situation is. I don't really talk about it to people. I don't really boast like I'm not in debt or nothing, but I don't really talk about my finances to people. It's my problem to handle, not anybody else's. They got their own financial problems to handle. That's just how I think. There's lots of vulnerability and transparency in this one. Now, stop. Before I sign off, if you came in late or you didn't do it earlier, I need you to subscribe. Comment. Subscribe. Tell me how you think I did this time, because I know I'm a little crazy. And I don't stay on topic very easily, and I'm thinking about 20,000 things, so I lose focus. I'm not ADD, though, I don't think. Maybe. Maybe highly ADD, and I don't know it. Now, subscribe, and watch how I get myself out of debt and out of this messy situation I have created for myself. Much love. Do not get credit cards. I hope you watch this, and if you were planning on getting a credit card tomorrow, don't do it until you have enough money to back up that credit card. If you have a $3,000 payment, you need to have $6,000 sitting in a bank account somewhere, just in case you need to pay that credit card off fast. So emergency funds, before you get a credit card, you better have a good emergency fund that you don't touch, or something, or savings fund or something. You need to be able to pay those credit cards off. I get you might want to save your credit, but you need to be able to pay them off. And once you get to $20,000 and freaking, that's $500 payments and $600, $700, $800 of interest and payments, and it gets crazy. And I'm telling you, I don't know how I manage it, but I do, and it's rough. Much love. Peace out. Let's get out of debt, and then we can worry about getting rich after that. Phil Highfield out.